welcome to Bus Speakers. I'm Kush,
I'm Alex.
and today we're reviewing Drunk by Thundercat. So Thundercat has been an R&B artist for the last couple of years. He's doing alternative R&B, soul music kind of things. But I think he gained most publicity from being featured on the Kendrick Lamar To Pimp a Butterfly album, as well as other features too, but I think that's where he was most known for. And I think this album, for a lot of it, is very pleasant. I think there are some songs that are just really funny, really weird, really quirky, and really enjoyable. But there are also I think a lot of people enjoy him for his bass performance, which isn't that amazing in all of the songs. And I feel like a lot of songs are very similar in terms of instrumentation, which is okay. I mean, it's not a bad thing, but I think with the album it's so long, with 20 songs, something like that, 24 songs, I feel like it gets a little repetitive with the same instrumentation and singing style.
Yeah, I mean, I knew I'd like this guy because I thought I'd like him a lot more than I did, because I saw this track length and saw that somewhere like 40 seconds, under 2 minutes. And I like that because it means he didn't expand ideas any longer than they needed to be. They were all, like, if he had an idea and he didn't think it was that good, but still probably good enough that he wanted it to be on the album, it'd just be a quick little 40-second song, won't extend it, won't add any unnecessary parts. And that is true to some aspects, but I think some of those were just not good enough to be on the album at all. Like, there were none of those songs, these like shorter songs, that I heard and was thinking, that'd be good as a 5-minute jam. They were just exactly as long as they needed to be. So you'd think I'd be really inclined to like this album, and I did, but much more because soul is like my favourite genre, and this is like exactly the right type of soul, like psychedelic soul, really channeling the 70s and 80s era. But I think he had a few problems. Basically because I don't think all the ideas gel together. And yes, there's a lot of interesting ideas, and I do appreciate that within soul music, but I mean, just some of this was a bit too silly, too similar, or just didn't have enough substance. When it sounded really good, the production's amazing, the vocals are always amazing, but sometimes these songs just don't have enough going on, or they don't have enough of a song to like justify existing, almost, if you know what I mean.
Yeah, so I think the best I think personally, I don't know about you, but I liked it best when he was a goofy and just thinking about random things. My favorite songs on here are Captain Stupido, Tokyo, Show You the Way, and Fans Mail. So Captain Stupido, the favorite line is "Wake up and beat your meat," and just goes on and like talks about his day, which is just hilarious, and it's just funny, and it's quirky, and he has a sexy, like really soulful voice, and he just talks about stupid things like that. I think it's wonderful. A Fan's Mail talks about being a cat. Yeah. He wants to be a cat, and like, what are you gonna do as a cat? And I'm like, I was convinced this had to be a metaphor or something, but he's literally just reading off what it's like to be a cat, and I'm like, wonderful. I think Tokyo is my favorite because I have a friend who really likes anime, and I sent him that and said, this is literally what your life is going to be in about 5 or 10 years. And at the end, or towards the end of the song, he just screams, "Goku fucking ruined me," and I lost it. I fucking love that song. I don't know. I think that I think "Show You the Way" was with all those like old school soul artists, and they have like the weird introductions and stuff.
Well, they're not even old school soul artists. Like, they're cheesy 80s pop artists like Kenny Loggins making Footloose. That's a really like dated 80s song that a lot of people don't like. I think it's kind of okay. And Michael McDonald, he's another one in the same caliber. And he was also part of the band the Doobie Brothers, who I will always love the song What a Fool Believes. I think that's a very nice late 70s pop jam. So I was thinking, when I saw this, I was very confused. What is he doing, digging up these two lost fogies of 80s pop music? What is he doing? I could not imagine this picturing working in any way. But amazingly, it does. I think it helps that they don't like become the lead vocalists. Like Kenny Loggins and Michael McDonald have one like short verse together, and they're mainly just doing some very, very, very smooth like spoken word parts on this song and just singing background vocals. But this is like a better quality than the actual music they made in the 80s. Like with True Survivor by David Hasselhoff, which is an amazing song. Very, very. It just embraces everything good about the 80s that David Hasselhoff actually wasn't in the 80s. Completely cheesy synths, great pop choruses, just out of this world. So, this is just pure class, and yeah, I mean, it's better than anything they made in the decade.
Yeah.
So, Walk On By was the Kendrick Lamar feature.
I like that
I think you like Kendrick Lamar a lot.
I love Kendrick. My boy Kendrick Lamar. I love him.
Same.
I think it was a good song. I think Kendrick Lamar, it wasn't his best verse, but I think it was pretty decent, and he was one of the better features on this album. And I think that was still a good song, something I did save and will be listening to that again.
Yeah, well, I definitely appreciate him more in the Thundercat context than the Sia or Maroon 5 context.
Oh yeah, the Maroon 5 was real bad.
Yeah, that was... I hate that song. And maybe Kendrick Lamar's verse would work well in like a vacuum aside from it, but just inside that song, I just hate it. Yeah. But on this one, it's good. One goofy song that I did like was Jamil's Space Ride.
That was funny.
Not much to say, it just sounds like he tried to make an intro to an animated children's show of the same name. I could picture that in my head clearly. If he was going for that, he succeeded.
It reminded me of Major Tom by David Bowie a little bit. Was it Major Tom?
Space Oddity.
Space Oddity, sorry, Space Oddity. It reminded me of that, not in content anyway, but just the name, and it just reminded me like, oh, maybe he's gonna do a one-off, but no, this is just like a random ass singing going on anywhere. It's just kind of funny. But I think there's a couple really bad features. Wiz Khalifa being one of them.
Oh, drink that, God.
That song was completely, you can throw it away. It was not funny. It was not intuitive. It wasn't quirky in any way. I don't know why Wiz Khalifa. No, Wiz Khalifa hasn't been relevant for so long. But okay.
Well, 2 years. He was on the See You Again songs by him, but you wouldn't know because Charlie Puth basically is the main guy on that. I think.
Ran that song. But yeah, I thought that was okay. It was whatever. Pharrell Williams, he's Pharrell Williams. He does what he does, but I'm not a big fan of him. But that's okay. He doesn't sound that bad.
He does what he does, but he doesn't do it very much here because I would not have known he was on here. He sounds exactly the same, almost, as Thundercat. So he's like superfluous. Like at least with Wiz Khalifa, like you can tell it's him.
Yeah.
But Pharrell, I didn't get that he was on it. I mean,
there's a lot of.
I did like the.
Go ahead.
I did like the more funny tracks, but they weren't like the thing I really liked, if you know what I mean. Like
yeah.
The one I kind of got into the most was Friend Zone. I mean, it's funny.
Stuck me in the friend zone. I'd rather play Mortal Kombat anyways.
And I've got enough friends. Like I mean, I was laughing all through that. These are humorous lines. That makes it sound like it's a trivial issue, but he's right. No one wants to be in the friend zone with someone you might potentially be in love with. So, yeah, that song was funny. And I do think, like, all these songs are funny. Like, some of them make him sound like a black version of They Might Be Giants. Like, especially on Captain Stupido. Just the whole, comb your beard, brush your teeth, Jesus, take the wheel. All of that reminds me completely of it. And yeah, there's a few songs where he does some more jazzy stuff, like on there's a song after that, That was just a nice jazz song for 2 minutes, not too long, and that was one of the songs where the bass playing was much better than usual, so I appreciated it for that.
Yeah. But some of the other ones are there's a lot of Kendrick Lamar influence, like in the song. I think it was. Which song was it? But he has a "Bitch Don't Kill My Vibe" reference. Oh, Friendzone had that, and
yeah, I do remember that. I think it was on Friendzone.
Inferno sounds a bit like You from To Pimp a Butterfly. Uh,
A little
with
bit.
like the spiraling and grimy instrumentation. But I guess because he was featured quite a bit on that album, so I guess it does overlap a little bit.
Yeah.
But I think the biggest flaw of this album for me is that a lot of the vocals and instrumentation sound too similar. That's the biggest flaw, but I love some of those goofy and funny songs.
I just want him to sing more straight, because he's too high-pitched vocally on some of this, like way too high-pitched,
yeah, a little bit.
in my opinion. I don't know if that's his normal singing style, it might be, but I just don't like it that much on a full scale. It's fine in small doses, but if you're listening to a whole album by the guy, you're not getting it in small doses, you're getting it track after track.
Yeah, you got like 58 minutes of him squealing.
Yeah. They're nice, but they're a bit much.
I think it was a good album. I think I'm definitely coming back to some of these songs because they're so short, so they're a fun thing to listen to once in a while. I think he does have a lot of talent.
These songs.
He has a lot of talent, but it is a bit underdeveloped.
Yeah, it's a bit underdeveloped and it's a bit too messy in a way. Some of these songs feel like demos that have been polished, song fragments that aren't finished, and I don't know, maybe this sort of scrapbook type of way of making an album is popular. I mean, Flying Lotus has a similar thing with short songs, who I think is also affiliated with Thundercat.
Oh yeah, he was on like almost every other song on this album.
Yeah, so yeah, I mean, it's good, but it's not even as good as Awaken My Love as far as a modern, like, neo psychedelic soul album goes. If you agree with that.
Yeah, I would agree with that. What would you rate it, Alex?
So yeah, you know, I'm being a bit down on it, but it's because I had high expectations. This is a really acclaimed soul album. You'd think this would be like my first 10 out of 10 because it's a soul album with some interesting ideas. That means I like it, but it also means there's a lot of problems. And I don't think there's enough bass, which is definitely the best instrument he can play on here. So I'm going to give it a 7 because, you know, there's enough good songs, enough good elements. It's just, if he focused all of these songs together, this could potentially be a 10. Maybe a song or an album before this is a 10 out of 10, and I don't know it yet. Maybe. But as far as this goes, it's a bit too messy, a bit too fragmented for me to give it higher than a 7.
Yeah, I'm also going to give it a 7, only because there are certain aspects of this which I really love. I love a lot of the goofiness and a lot of his singing and his instrumentation. But it is getting a little repetitive. It's a bit long, because I love the, what's his name? Flying Lotus's album, but that was like 38 minutes of just fast, quick, fun songs. And I feel like this was a bit too long for me. There were some forgettable parts about it, like Wiz Khalifa and Pharrell Williams were both forgettable features. But I'm glad he did put this album out, because there are some redeeming qualities, and just it's a lot of fun to listen to. You should definitely listen to it at least once.
Yeah, and I'm definitely going to be playing Show You the Way whenever I have my 80s night ins.
Yeah,
Kenny Loggins gets me there.
So yeah, 7 from both of us. That's it, then thank you for tuning into Bus Speakers. If you enjoyed this review, make sure you like and subscribe, check out some of our other videos. Let us know what you feel about this album in the comments below, and check us out on social media.